doctor's reports that I do for all my patients is really twofold. First of all, when most people come into here, they think they have an idea about what health is. And you know, they're right. They think they know what health is, and most of them, you know, that's right, they think they know what it is, but that's not what, they have really no comprehension about what health is. So we're going to make you think a little bit tonight, okay? I want you to look at things with a little different eyes, and hopefully maybe get some different comprehension and some different ideas about what health is. Secondly, I'm going to talk about what chiropractic is. Again, most people come in here and they think they know what a chiropractor is, and guess what? They've got no idea about what it is that I do or what chiropractic is really all about. So again, that's the reason that I have these little doctor's reports. Those of you who are patients, as soon as I'm finished with this tonight, you're going to go inside. I'm going to be showing you your x-rays and just be going over your personal cases with you, okay? So let's go into this. A couple of ground rules. First of all, I just ask if you've got any questions, let's just hold them to the end, okay? I'll have a little question and answer period. You can ask me any kind of question you want relative to what we're going to talk about here tonight. Okay, health through chiropractic. You know, before I can really talk to you about chiropractic and what chiropractic is and how it relates to health, we really have to define health. You know, if I were to ask you, what does it mean to be healthy, what would you give me as a definition? What's a good definition for being healthy?
No pain.
No pain. That's probably the most common answer I ever get. Feeling good, right? No pain. Isn't that how most of us think? I'll give you an example. This is what I call Mr. Joe America. This is how most of us are brought up to believe, all right? Joe gets up in the morning and all of a sudden Joe has a pain, all right? Now, of course, being like most Americans, Joe's going to hope that, first of all, this pain is just going to maybe disappear. But let's stop and analyze just that point for 1 second, okay? Pain. What is pain? What is pain?
It's a signal something is wrong.
Perfect. That's exactly right. A signal something is wrong. It's a symptom, okay? All symptoms are a sign from your body that something's gone wrong. So Joe's woken up now in the morning with this signal that something's gone wrong. He's got pain. And again, of course, he's going to try to hope that maybe this pain's just going to go away. Well, let's say it doesn't. So being like most good Americans, Joe's next going to go for some kind of pain relief pill to get rid of the pain that he took, right? Now, maybe he'll be lucky there, and the pain will go away. So now Joe thinks that he's okay because the pain went away. Isn't that how we're brought up to believe, right? Okay. But let's analyze the steps one more time. The body, as you said, the body gave off a sign or a symptom, pain, that something was wrong. Joe now came along and he took some type of pain relief pill to eliminate the pain. And the pain's gone. Great. Question is now, what did Joe do for the thing that was causing the pain in the first place? Nothing. Zero. But he got rid of the symptoms, so he's now tricked himself into believing that he's okay. Now, isn't that how we're all kind of brought up to think that way, right? You know, if we take something, we don't feel any pain, we think we're okay. That's not how it works. Now, let me ask you another thing. What if somebody has no pain at all? Does that necessarily mean that they're healthy? No. There's plenty of people that are walking the street right now that are going to be, that feel great, in 5 minutes from now they're going to be dropping dead of heart attacks. The whole purpose of that is to get you to realize that if you try to gear your health purely based on whether or not you have symptoms in your body, you're playing with Russian roulette, because that's not how it works. All right? What we want to do in here is we want to look at health, we want to analyze a little bit further. Now, science knows what it is that controls the function of our bodies. In fact, we all do. What's the master system of the body? What controls all bodily functions? Does anyone know? The brain and the spine, the nervous system. That's exactly right. Science knows that. And we as chiropractors, that's what we work with, that brain and nervous system which controls all your bodily functions so that your body will start to work properly. Now, I want to give you some background so you kind of understand about how your body's put together and just exactly how your body works. So let's go back a little bit in time to before you were you. And let's show you exactly how your body's put together. Now, we all start off from 2 cells, one from our mother, one from our father, and then one day or night, as circumstances may be, these 2 cells come together and form 1 cell. Now, we can actually say that at the moment that these 2 cells come together and unite, there exists a situation of 100% life. What do I mean by that? All the genetic information, all the protoplasm, everything that's necessary so that in 280 days we have a living, breathing human being with over 40 quadrillion cells. That's present right from this moment here. In fact, studies have been done. It's really interesting. You know, I want you to start to get an appreciation for your bodies here too, and just how fantastic your bodies are. Studies have been done when intercourse took place and there was no egg, no ovum capable of becoming fertilized in the woman. Now, what's the function of a sperm cell? What do sperm cells do? Fertilize the egg. That's right. That's the only function that they have. Studies were done where intercourse took place and there was no egg capable of becoming fertilized, and the sperm cells were deposited. Well, somehow inherently these little sperm cells knew, hey, there's no egg here. And you know what they did? They just wandered around aimlessly till they ran out of energy and they died. The same study showed that when there was an egg present capable of becoming fertilized, somehow inherently these little tiny microscopic cells knew, hey, there's an egg there. And you know what they did? They traveled in direct straight paths right towards that egg to try to fertilize it. And that's pretty good, okay? I'm just talking to you about fertilization. These are tiny little microscopic cells. They don't have PhDs. There's no cop in there directing them down a fallopian tube and making a right-hand turn, okay? But these little cells know just exactly what they're doing. Well, what's going on? How do those little cells know what they have to do? That's the same thing. How does a salmon know how to go upstream and spawn? In chiropractic, we have a term for that. We have a term for how your body functions, and your body knows just exactly what it has to do. We call that your body's innate intelligence. Innate means what? Inborn, from within. Intelligence means your body's intelligent, okay? There's normal homeostatic mechanisms that work in your body at the whole time. And guess what? This innate intelligence expresses itself over your body's nervous system. Okay? In fact, what we're going to find out shortly is that we can really say that all of these are equal. We'll get into that in a little bit. All right? So let's get back to development here now. Again, keep in mind just the magnificence of the body. I can't overemphasize that. Okay, these two cells come together and they form this one cell. Well, this cell now divides in half, and 4, and 8, 16, 32, 64, and so on and so forth, until after a period of time we got this whole big clump of cells. Technically it's called a morula. It looks like a cluster of mulberries. Well, this little morula now starts to convolute and twist and turn until after about 18 days of embryonic life, that's what you look like. Not the most attractive thing in the world, but then we all start out the same way, okay? Now, we just said before, you told me, you knew it, that it was the purpose of the brain and nerve system to control and coordinate all bodily function. So what do you think nature's going to lay down as the first organ system to form in your body? Brain and nervous system, that's exactly right. What you find is that this area up here expands and forms a structure which is called your primitive brain. That's going to become your actual brain later on in development. And guess what? As a direct continuation of this primitive brain is something which they call the primitive streak. But that's going to turn into your spinal cord. Your spinal cord really is nothing more than a continuation of your brain. That's all it is. That's all it is. Now, as development continues, strands of neurological elements will come off and out from the spinal cord and will hook up to all the different organs that are formed in your body. Your heart, your lungs, your kidney. That's a bad looking kidney. A muscle. You name it. It'll hook up to everything. In fact, there's so many nerve fibers in you. If we were to peel away all your skin, all your hair, all your bones, whatever, and just left your nerve fibers, we can still recognize you as you. That's how many nerve fibers there are in your entire body. Okay, now nature saw this and said, okay, well this is great, this is how the whole system works. Then the nerves control everything, so guess what? I better protect it, right? And so what's it do? It puts a nice, hard, bony casing around the brain, which we call what? Skull, right? Protects it from hard injury. Now, if you're thinking, which I hope you're doing here, okay, you'd say, geez, Doc, you just said that the spinal cord is really nothing more than a continuation of the brain. Wouldn't it make sense then? Why don't we surround the spine with solid bone, just like we did with the brain up here? That would be logical, right? One problem with that, though. If this was all solid bone like the brain, what's going to happen?
You might have a band.
That's right. You can't move. You'd be walking like a penguin. Okay? You can't move around. So what nature did was it says, well, the spinal cord's real important. So what I'm going to do is I am going to surround it with bone, but it's going to be segments of solid bone, which we call vertebrae. And in between the vertebrae, we're going to put a fibroelastic disc. So now you can bend and you can twist and you can turn and you can do the various things that you want to do. All right? That's how your body's set up. That's how your nervous system is protected. Okay. That was a simple anatomy lesson. You just went through about 2 years of anatomy in 2 minutes. Okay. Now what I want, now that you understand how important your nervous system is and it controls all your bodily functions, what I want to do is show you how the nerves actually work and control the different organs of your body. This is really simple. In neurology, this is called a simple nerve reflex arc. That's what the technical term for it is. Let's say it's not raining outside, and we decide we're going to go running. It's a nice night for a run, okay? So if we're going to run, the tissues of our body are going to need more oxygen, right? So what's going to have to happen? The heart's going to have to beat quicker to supply the different oxygen to the different cells of the body. So here's how it starts. Up here in the brain, this is the master center here, the brain's going to send a signal. And the signal's going to go down through the spinal cord, and out the spinal nerve that goes to the heart, and it's going to tell the heart, beat quicker. I need more oxygen supply to my tissues. All right? Now we're outside, we're running around for about a half an hour, we finally get tired. We say, I think it's time to stop. The heart will send a signal back along the same nerve, back into the spinal cord, up to the brain, and tell the brain, stop, I'm tired. That's called a simple nerve pathway. That works for anything. If I want to wiggle my finger, if I want to wiggle my toes, jump up and down, the food that's being digested in your stomachs right now from dinner tonight, those digestive processes, you're hearing me right now, you're looking at the board, all of those things are occurring in a fraction of a second, but all over that same type of a pathway. Everything works like that, but in a fraction of a second. Now, let me ask you this. What if I decided to be a wise guy one day, and I come over here and I cut the nerve that's going to the heart? How well is that heart going to work? Not too good? Okay, we're going to have a problem here. Well, I'll tell you what if I didn't cut the nerve, but what if I was able to interfere with the nerves, almost like crimp it up? Sort of if, say for example, you were outside and you were watering your lawn, let's say a garden hose. Let's say that that garden hose is a spinal nerve, and that the water comes through there is the energy from the brain, nerve energy. You're going along real good, all of a sudden some kid comes along and he steps on a hose. What happens to the water coming through? Stops, or
Slows down.
right, perfect. Trickles. Why? It depends on how much pressure's on the nerve, right? Well, what if we could do that to the body? How well do you think the heart would work? Not too good. Or if it was trickling through, guess what? It wouldn't be working the way it was supposed to be working, or at its maximum potential, right? Okay, that situation does exist, and that's what chiropractors deal with. That is what science recognizes and calls a subluxation. Everybody say that word for me, okay? Subluxation. Good. Okay, I don't want people going in here calling this a submarine. Okay? Subluxation. What a subluxation is an interference to your nervous system that causes a lack of health. Now, let me explain this. This is a side view of your lower back, what a picture looks like on an x-ray. Of course, to most of you, you don't understand anything about what you're looking at, so let's look at what a spine is designed as. This is a